I don't know about y'all, but me personally, I've been so invested into this whole like Elon takeover on Twitter. I don't see Elon doing no fake shit. I don't see him doing no shady shit. I just see him really being a person for the people, which we never had. And it's so entertaining to see. I go to his feed like 3 to 4 times a day, go to his tweets and replies to see what he be talking about, see what he's dealing with. Because I mean, like, there has not been one other person ever in our lifetime that has been a billionaire and went head on with the fucking system and actually has the capital and fan base to take on the system to really hopefully get us out of this fucking system where us lower class citizens, us middle class citizens, even the high class citizens can be themselves without having to worry about walking on eggshells.
Meanwhile,
but yeah, let's see what Ben Shapiro got to say. I'm sure he has to know more in depth than I do.
There is a controversy brewing over at Twitter. So Elon Musk woke up this morning, basically fired everybody. Which I gotta say is hilarious. They had more employees than they needed. Twitter had something like 6,500 employees, which is insane.
He had to because the advertisers, they don't want to pay Twitter no more since Elon owns it, which is they can pretend all the fuck they want that they're doing it out of strategy, but you know damn well they're being paid out the ass to not fucking promote on Twitter. What
do all those people do all day? I mean, aside from drinking lattes and going to the massage room, what exactly do they do over there? Many of them woke up to find that their emails had been blocked and they were done. Musk is taking over with a small cadre of people, and a lot of the advertisers are freaking out. They're freaking out because what they are afraid of is the secondary boycotts. What they're afraid of is that somebody will screen cap an ad for Cheerios, and that ad for Cheerios will appear next to an uncleared post on Twitter that involves the N-word or something. And so if Twitter is more unregulated, then advertisers are more afraid. It's not a safe buy environment. I
get how the N-word is offensive. I get how people shouldn't say it. But at the same time, like, if someone's using it as like a quote or they're saying like I don't know. I don't even know. I don't think a joke would be accepted. I don't know. That I'm white, so I don't know. I just don't say it. I just stay clear of that. But I feel like Twitter's AI has to be advanced enough to be like, all right, you put this word in your tweet. We're gonna pause it before it posts to make sure that there's nothing offensive in it. And once we clarify there's nothing offensive in it, we'll post it to your feed. I don't see why they can't just do that instead of just. I don't know. I feel like they're at the same time. He's only been there for a week, so who knows? Maybe he's doing something along them lines.
This is their shtick. According to the Wall Street Journal, some advertisers are concerned Musk could scale back content moderation, which they worry would lead to an increase in objectionable content on the platform. Others are temporarily halting their ads because of uncertainty at the company as top executives exit, and Musk considers a raft of changes. Representatives for General Mills and Audi of America confirmed the companies have paused Twitter ads. As always, we will continue to monitor this new direction and evaluate our marketing spend, said a spokeswoman for General Mills, whose brands include Cheerios, Bisquick, and Haagen-Dazs. A Twitter rep did not respond to a request for comment. That's not exactly a shock. Whenever there is a sort of radical change in the nature of a business, advertisers tend to get a little scared.
Sense.
Many other companies
but at the same time, like, I really hope this whole $8 a month shit is implemented well, because if he can take advertisers out of the equation completely, that would be such a dub for humanity. The fact that the social media platforms literally alter around who has the most money and who can pay them the most, and then who can promote like the type of content they want promoted is L for us. Like we're literally fucking monkeys being brainwashed. If he can find a way to take advertisers out of the equation, or at least make them not mandatory, that would be such a dub for humanity, not just for him.
Doing the same. An executive at one major ad agency said about 20 of its clients had temporarily paused Twitter spending. Ad buyers say the platform isn't considered a must-buy for many advertisers, with far larger budgets going to tech giants like Alphabet, Inc.'s Google, and Meta platforms, and that pausing makes sense during the bumpy transition under Musk. This is going to be treated, of course,
Meta needs
as
it now.
though Musk is doing something deeply wrong by opening up the spigots on other information. That's not right. It's just advertisers are always afraid of roiling waters. There are a lot of roiled waters at Twitter. In 3 months, they'll all be coming back. Musk has been working to reassure advertisers, both publicly and privately, the platform will remain a safe place for brands. Since tweeting last week, Twitter cannot become a free-for-all hellscape, the billionaire has participated in several meetings and video calls with some of the world's largest ad companies and blue-chip advertisers, according to ad executives. He promised to rid the platform of bots and add community management tools, according to people. Now, there's some people on the right who are very critical of Musk, and they think that Musk is now going to essentially re-implement the same sort of closed-down regime that the old Twitter bosses had. I don't think that's correct. But it isn't correct that Musk is just going to treat Twitter like a Reddit thread. He's not just going to let anything go.
Oh, God. Like,
because, again,
he's not
he
stupid.
is a private company. He's not saying there's no Overton window. He's just saying the Overton window is a lot broader than the Overton window that was allowed before by the Twitter content moderators who decided that noticing the biological reality of sex was a serious problem.
Right.
Musk is also attempting to shift away from advertisers entirely.
I feel like that's the only reason why this even took place, is because the people in charge of Twitter would not let people speak factual facts, that biological facts. That's what I should have said. But it's like, if they would have just never even done that, if they would have just let people talk freely without being offensive, they wouldn't even have to worry about this. Elon wouldn't have had to do nothing. He wouldn't have had to waste $44 billion and all these fucking tweets about $8 billion to feed everybody in the world. He could have done that instead. But you don't fuck with humanity. That's what Elon say.
This is why he's pointing at this sort of $8 a month subscription program for Twitter. In a meeting with advertisers, he said subscribers would see fewer ads. The goal here is to move towards subscriptions. This, by the way, is a model in a lot of businesses right now, because the ad business is so reliant, obviously, on the success of the underlying companies. In a recession, ad dollars sometimes drop. So Musk is trying to move toward direct subscriptions. That, of course, is not a shock. Meanwhile, it is amazing. One thing that is amazing.
But at the same time, he didn't say this. It's not, you could use Twitter free. You just ain't gonna have a check mark, and you ain't gonna have the benefits that people that pay $8 a month have, which is perfectly fucking fine. Why are people upset about that? You can still use Twitter how the fuck ever you use Twitter. I feel like it's only a big deal because all these celebrities are really pissed that anybody can have a blue check mark now. But they don't want to say it like that. They want to pretend like they're upset because, well, what if people can't afford it? That's bullshit. Y'all upset that everybody's gonna be able to, or you're upset that you had to spend $8 yet you make $8,000 a day.
In politics is the absolute lack of ability to operate within cognitive dissonance. You see this in politics all the time. People are unable to say two things at once, just unable to do it. So a lot of people are unable on the right side of the aisle to say, don't like the stuff that Donald Trump tweets, don't like Donald Trump's personality, don't like a lot of things about Donald Trump, love his policies, therefore I voted for him. Very difficult for people to say that. And on the left, you see the same thing. Man. They won't say, I like Joe Biden's policies, I just think that Joe Biden is not alive anymore. And they can't handle the cognitive dissonance. And this is why you see so many politicians who are absolutely unable to simply stick in the middle of the road, even on issues where they don't have to. So a great case in point of this is Liz Cheney. So Liz Cheney went from, I am a strong Republican who just doesn't like many of the things Donald Trump is doing, to, I am a strong Republican who wishes to see Donald Trump thrown out of office, to, I am a strong Republican who wishes to indict the entire Republican Party for the activities of Donald Trump, to, I am a strong Republican who loves Nancy Pelosi. That shift happened in about 37 seconds overall. The inability to hold two thoughts at once. Nancy Pelosi is a really bad Speaker of the House who has horrible priorities for the country. And also, she doesn't like Donald Trump and thinks he ought to be impeached. Like, she just can't hold that, which is, of course, why she's not going to be in Congress. She lost her primary in Wyoming. Here was Liz Cheney praising Nancy Pelosi to the skies yesterday.
And I want to say a word about Speaker Pelosi. I did not really know her before I began work on the January 6th committee. I'm not sure if I had ever spoken to her, actually. But since I have been on the committee, and I say this, everyone knows, she is a liberal from San Francisco. I'm a conservative from Wyoming. That's
why I don't know very much about politics, and I've always been honest about that, and I'll always be upfront with y'all about that. But the only reason why I'm even invested in it right now is because I'm so annoyed with how much motherfuckers will just pretend that they're on someone's side, even though they don't agree with them, just because they hate the other motherfuckers so much. It's like politicians are the literal living definition of the enemy of my enemy is my friend. That's how they fucking operate, and that's how they think. And they don't, like, it's just, It blows my fucking mind how people are so just hate or like, love or hate. You can't be like, well, I don't disagree with this and I agree with this, or I like him for this and I don't like him for that. Why can't people fucking do that? Why is it either hate or love or hate? You know, like it's just it's so fucking annoying because it's as a person that's real and I always want to stay true to what I believe in and I always want to speak my mind freely and even if someone I don't like says something I agree with, I'm gonna fucking say I agree with it. I just hate how people can't do that. It's such a childish. I don't even know what it's such a weird, little-minded, weak-ass thing to do.
Many issues, maybe most issues on which we disagree. But I think that she is a tremendous leader. I've watched her up close. She's a leader of historic consequence.
It's so tiresome. It's so tiresome. Why can't you just say, nothing bad should have happened to Paul Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi is a bad Speaker of the House who has bad priorities. Why can't we hold those two things in our minds at once? Everything's either all good or all bad all the time.
Facts. Exactly what I just said.
It was Liz Cheney's inability to hold two thoughts at once that lead to her not being in Congress anymore. Everybody is blaming, Republicans, they're all in Trump's pocket, all the rest of it. Maybe it's that Republicans got tired of Liz Cheney basically just becoming a Democratic mouthpiece. That's what actually happened. By the way,
actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I do remember when Trump was in presidency, a lot of people would say, I don't like how he talks, but he's making this country good. I personally didn't see it, but at the same time, like, I wasn't as financially well and I wasn't, in positions to where I could actually see the benefits for the working class. But I do remember people were saying that often.
Case in point of this tiredness with Liz Cheney. When Liz Cheney first went after Donald Trump in the aftermath of January 6th, and there was an attempt to strip her of her committees, Kevin McCarthy stood by her. And I also said, she can disagree with me on impeachment, and that doesn't mean that she's going to be a bad Republican. And then, of course, she became a bad Republican who decided to smear the entire Republican Party with January 6th. And now she's out there talking about the wonders of Nancy Pelosi. Amazing stuff right there. And meanwhile, there's some brand new polls that are being dumped very, very late. Some of these polls are showing movement in favor of the Democrats. It is sort of hard to tell where these races are at this point. A lot of pollsters will sort of shift and they will move in an attempt to sort of hedge their bets. So if they go too far in the Republican direction, then they will shift to avoid the implication that the Republican is going to win. They'll just they'll kind of move the other way. And you're seeing this happen in a lot of the polling right now. You're seeing the pollsters sort of try to hedge their bets because they don't know which way it's going to go, and then they're going to be blamed if they predict one thing and the other thing happens. This is why, for example, the polling data in Arizona currently has a statistical tie, essentially, between Mark Kelly and Blake Masters. That is the easiest thing for everyone. It is super simple to claim that you didn't get it wrong if you say it's a statistical tie. Same thing happening in Pennsylvania, where it's a statistical tie. There are 5 polls in the last week showing that Oz is up in 4 of them. But in one, the Marist poll, Fetterman is up by 6. So basically that one.
I'm sorry. I will not believe it if Republicans don't win this race. There's no fucking way in hell that there's over 50% of people that think Joe Biden and what the fuck his little minions are doing is doing any good for this fucking country. It's so fucking frustrating, dog, because the only reason why I care so much is because I'm genuinely concerned about this nuclear war that's potentially gonna happen. I'm genuinely concerned with this fucking what's his name? The motherfucker with a big ass tumor on his neck, not even being able to fucking speak a sentence, kind of like how I just was right there. And then how Joe Biden hasn't been able to speak a sentence for the past 2 fucking years. Not to mention inflation's through the roof, bills, everything's through the fucking roof. I want to keep talking, but I'm going to end that there. My time limit's almost up, but if you liked and you enjoyed, please like, comment, and subscribe, and deuces.
Cause I've been in this trap slowly coming up. I turned it to the 4 and slowly did my double up. Yeah, so watch me do the double up. Everybody hit your double up. See this the dance if you grind it slowly coming up.